my friend. Welcome to Parenting A to Z. I'm Kelly Bourne, and this week we're talking all about yelling. Specifically, how to stop yelling at our kids because, it's so gross. It's so gross. It's like we all hate it. We don't like doing it. It makes us feel guilty. Our kids' behavior is not changing. It's enough to make your head want to explode, right? So grab your cup of coffee. I've got some great tips and tools and strategies to help you get your calm on. I know, I think we'd all like to be a little bit more calm, right? So buckle up, we'll get right to it. So first off the top, there's just a few myths I want to address, because I feel like when it comes to yelling at our kids, when we totally lose our minds, it's so easy to fall into that trap of thinking that we're the only ones doing this, that we're the only ones losing our cool. But you know what? As I was making this video, I just typed in, just to see, I typed in Google, how to stop yelling at your kids, and guess how many results came up? 6.7 million results. So if that's not enough right there to kind of tell you that you're in good company. You're in good company. I imagine everyone else watching this video is right in the exact same boat you are. So you are not the only one. The other thing is too that you're a bad parent, that you're an awful parent. All of us lose our cool from time to time. None of us like it, right? Because anybody watching this video obviously wants to stop yelling at their kids. So we're all in the same boat. We're all in the same boat. It doesn't make us bad people. It doesn't make us bad parents. We just need some other ways to get some stuff off our chest. And the other thing too, before I go into any tips or tools, is I also want to address this whole idea that it's really easy to just stop yelling at your kids, because it is not. Depending on your personality and the way you were raised and how you react to stress in general, it can be your life's work. I know. I'm hoping that's not scaring you. I'm hoping that's not scaring you off. But I guess the message I'm trying to say is parenting will always be an amateur sport. There will be certain things and certain relationships that we constantly have to work on, and that's okay. It doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make you a failure at all. It makes you someone who is invested enough in your relationship with your kids to constantly be working at it and constantly be trying to make those changes and make those tweaks to build up your relationship. You're here, you're working on it. And that's absolutely what matters. That's what matters right there. And heck, honestly, for me guys, this is a constant work in progress for me. Just even last week, I lost my ever-living you-know-what on my kids for something completely stupid. It didn't matter at all. Even as I was losing it, I knew it was ridiculous, and it happens sometimes. It happens sometimes. The key is what we do after, and the key what we do moving forward. So welcome. I am so glad you're here. And as far as how to deal with yelling at your kids, I think the biggest thing I know for me and for a lot of the parents I work with is just becoming aware of your triggers, because I feel like we are triggered by so many different things, and it's such an individual thing. We all can get triggered by different things, but just have an awareness of what gets your goat, what sends your blood pressure rising, what empties your tank, what leaves you feeling overwhelmed and frustrated and deflated, and it probably will have nothing actually to do with your kids. Referencing the time I lost it on my kids last week, it literally had nothing to do with them. I was stressed about something completely different. So I was running on empty. I had a short fuse, and unfortunately they were the ones to bear the brunt of it. So there's this system that I really love. It was actually created, I believe, in the addiction space, helping people who are dealing with addictions recognize their own triggers. And it's called HALT. Are you hungry? Are you angry? Are you lonely? Are you tired? Because those 4 things are kind of universal triggers for everyone. The 4 big ones. Are you hungry? Are you hangry? Hello, I know, I can be there. Are you angry? Are you lonely? Are you tired? Because when you can start to feel yourself get agitated, just saying okay, halt. And am I any one of these things? Let's take care of that first before I try and deal with the kids. And heck, if that means having a snack, then you just have yourself a snack. You do what you need to do to get yourself in that state where you can positively deal with your kids. So just have that awareness of your own triggers. It's huge. And then when you have that awareness of your triggers, is to have your own arsenal of calm down strategies. I know, an arsenal of calm down strategies. I don't know if there ever was such an oxymoron, but really to know for you, again, this is completely separate from what your kids are doing, what helps you calm down, whether it is taking a few deep breaths, whether it is excusing yourself to a different room, whether it is sitting down and just reading a book for a few minutes, whether it is pulling the car over and just getting out and going and sitting on the trunk for 5 minutes. If you need that to catch your calm. So it's just thinking for yourself, what helps me find my calm? What do I need? What will bring me down when I'm at the red zone here? What's going to help bring me back down to the green zone here? And again, it'll be different for everyone. You can even talk with your friends or your partner or someone if you're having trouble figuring out like what helps you find your calm, what helps cool you off. So you know in that moment when you can feel it rising that you can do these things to help bring your brain back online, right? Because when we flip our lids and when we're losing our minds, we've literally lost our mind and we're not in a space to be dealing with our kids. So finding your own calm down strategies, again, is huge. And then even when you're aware of your triggers and even when you've tried to calm yourself, sometimes we still lose our minds, right? Sometimes it's just too much and we lose our minds. And as far as how to deal in that moment, it's stopping mid-sentence, even if you had to. This is something that me looking back on the freak out I was telling you about, I wish that I would have done, and I will try, this is something I'm going to try to do moving forward, is instead of just allowing the verbal diarrhea of the freak out to continue as my own catharsis that I'm just like spewing onto my kids, is stopping mid-sentence if I have to and go back to those calm down strategies, whether it is pulling over the car or taking 5 minutes for myself, excusing myself, whatever it is, stopping it, halting it right there to take care of you. Because honestly, like, self-care is so much more than a buzzword. I feel like it's such a buzzword lately, but it's so much more than that because we do need to put on our own oxygen mask first. Look at me, I'm throwing all these metaphors in here. But we really do. We cannot respond to our kids if we are losing it ourselves. So do whatever you need to do to help find your calm before you deal with the misbehavior or before you deal with whatever situation you needed to deal with your kids. Take care of you first. And then beyond how to deal in the moment, there are some really proactive, preventative things we can look at that will lessen the amount of times that we are freaking our freak on our kids. And one of the big things is just looking at triggers when it comes to your relationship with your kids. Is it certain behavioral challenges? Is it certain transitions? Are you losing your cool every single morning at breakfast? Are you freaking out every single time it's time to go to soccer practice? And getting really specific and narrowing in on what that issue is and then making a plan for dealing with that proactively. And it cannot be too specific. Like if you think it's something really minor, focus on that really minor thing. Like heck, for me, my whole transition into launching what I'm doing now and speaking to you now and creating these videos was because my 19-month-old would not stop smashing his toys on the TV when I was trying to feed his newborn baby brother, and I was losing my mind 50 million times a day, and I hated it. So I focused, for me, it was focusing on that one behavior. How am I going to manage that? What is my plan? What am I going to do when he smashes his toys on the TV? And that is slowly what changed everything, because now I had a plan. Now I knew how I was going to respond when he would smash his toys on the TV. So I didn't have to freak out every day because I had a plan. And then slowly that behavior changed. Of course, if you're thinking of, okay, what's the issue? What am I dealing with? How do I deal with this? Let me know in the comments below and I'll see. Heck, I probably have a video on it. If not, I can chat with you and give you some strategies to try out. So zero in on those common triggers, zero in on those common behavior challenges, and make a plan for that specific behavior challenge or that specific transition to lessen the amount of times that you're feeling stressed and you're feeling frustrated with your kids. And it'll help you find your calm. And then the other thing too that I want to add just before I leave you today is just the importance of self-compassion. Because I don't know if there's anything that can bring on the guilt quite like when you totally freaking lose your mind on your kids, right? We can be our own worst enemies. So not only did we just lose our minds. Now we're losing our minds on beating ourselves up about what we just did. So try to talk to yourself how you would talk to a friend. How would you talk to a friend who just came to you and said, oh my gosh, I'm feeling awful. I screamed at the kids over something, it wasn't their fault. And I'm feeling so terrible about it. How would you respond to that friend? What would you say to that friend? How would you treat that friend? You would treat them with kindness, right? You would treat them with love, and you would treat them with compassion. Turn that mirror back on yourself. Turn that mirror back on yourself. Say goodbye to the negative self-talk and the guilt. And sometimes you just need to give yourself a hug and say, oh man, you know what, Kelly? That was not a good scene, but you are a good mom, and I know you love your kids, and we can do better next time. And it's just giving yourself that little pep talk. Like sometimes even like, okay, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. And it can't be, I know it sounds funny as I'm sitting here in my kitchen talking to myself. Well, I'm not talking to myself, I'm talking to you. But really, like, don't be afraid to show yourself compassion. Do you know what we need to do? We need to stop beating ourselves up about all of our mistakes and stop beating ourselves up when we lose our minds, because none of us likes losing our minds. None of us likes talking to our kids that way. It's just a momentary lapse. So take that lapse, wrap your arms around yourself if you need to, and talk to yourself like you talk to a friend. You deserve it. You deserve it. You deserve it. You deserve it. If I haven't said it yet, you deserve it. So I hope that helps, guys. I know yelling at your kids it's hard and it's tricky, and it can be a process. It can be a process finding our calm in those moments of stress and frustration, and dealing with our kids in a way that makes us feel good, because I think that's what it comes down to at the end of the day, right? Is we didn't have kids to yell at them and scream at them all day. Of course we didn't. We want to help them and engage with them and guide them and teach them and have a good relationship with them. So it just, honestly, being aware of your own triggers and having your own calm down strategies, it's half the battle right there. But of course, any questions, comments, concerns, leave them down below. I'd love to chat with you. And if you're looking for more in-depth resources, or if you want to have one-on-ones during my live office hours, make sure to check us out in the Parenthood. We'd absolutely love to have you. So best of luck, guys. I'll be sending you all my calm vibes, and I'll see you in the next video.